Are you guys ready for the last comic of the evening? Okay. This guy is the winner of Gilda's Laugh Off in New Jersey, and he is hilarious, and you're going to love him. Give it up for the amazing Kevin Israel.
Yes, yes. Keep it going for Matt and Julie and Joan and Alex. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming out for this tonight. We appreciate it. On a snowy evening. What was that about? I was like, that's awesome. That's God just being like, oh, your comedy career? Not so much. I can't see any of you. This is fantastic. My name's Kevin Israel. I'm Jewish. Good, that was the response I wanted. Just any other Jews in here? Round of applause, yeah? Well, there's a few of us, not sitting together, of course. We don't like to get together in groups. Too easy to find us. Everybody's laughing about that for a different reason. Interesting thing about my last name, the name wasn't originally Israel. Family name was originally Israelovich. My great-grandfather came here right before World War II. He was at Ellis Island filling out the little book. He decided to change the name to make it less Jewish. Yeah. So he changed it to Israel. I would imagine right around May of 1948, he looked at the newspaper and was like, shit, they're all gonna know. Trying to Jew down your name by changing it to Israel is like farting and trying to cover up the smell by shitting your pants. It's not gonna work. I grew up in a town where I was the only Jewish kid, so I became like the token Jew. One year in around third grade, the teacher got up to the front of class and was like, class, quiet down, because she had a microphone. And she's like, tonight is a very special night. Tonight is the first night of Hanukkah, and we're gonna have our little Jewish friend, Kevin Israel, come up and tell us just a little something about Hanukkah. And I'm in the back of the class with my He-Man lunchbox going, Hanukkah? What the hell do I know about Hanukkah? So I figured I'd just make it up. So I got up to the front of class and I was like, Hanukkah is a very special holiday to us Jews. It's a celebration of when Santa Claus kicked Hanukkah Harry out of Egypt. And for 40 years, the Jews strode across the desert until they came across a burning bush, which told them to go burn every damn Christmas tree out there, and your stockings, and your reindeer, and your Santa Claus, and your holiday's so much better than mine. 8 days of fun, my ass. I got pencils and socks. It was real tough, though, because the school was all white. So one year, the teacher got to the front of class and was like, class, quiet down. Tonight's the first night of Kwanzaa. And little Kevin Israel's going to come up and tell us something about Kwanzaa. And I was like, but I'm not black. She's like, shut up, it doesn't matter. Get ready next week for Ramadan. I'm sick of shit. It's tough growing up Jewish, though. And I'm going to say this on behalf of all the Jews. To all of you non-Jews, you guys win. Congratulations. You do, you win. Thanks for laughing at that, Nazi. She's still laughing. You do, you win. Your holidays beat everything we got. Why? Because you're marketing geniuses with your holidays. If something's not fun, you just make some crazy stuff up and sell it. I don't know, Easter's not doing too well. What do you got? What about a rabbit that craps colored eggs? Then you guys have to turn everything into a celebration. You have to make everything fun. Oh, look, a baby's born. What are we going to do? We're going to take him to church and dribble a little water on his head and then go have a party. Whee! You know what we do when a baby's born? Yeah, apparently you do. Have you ever been to a bris before? It's sick. All the women get up front as close as possible going, contact, contact. And all the men stand in the back of the room like this. Nope, nope, Then the rabbi gets up and he always says the same thing. Now, the baby's gonna scream a little bit, but it's just because it's cold and wet. What? Apparently this guy's never been kicked in the balls before. And then you guys lose your minds around Christmas time. Christmas is coming. You folks just lose your mind around Christmas time. Look out your front yards around Christmas time, people. Friggin' relax. We get it. You wrap lights around everything. If a car pulls into your driveway for 5 minutes, you wrap lights around it. Look, honey, it blinks and sings Oh Holy Night. And then recently, you guys have just gone completely over the deep edge, and you've started putting inflatable crap on your front yards. And then you keep it up till like April. There's always one in the neighborhood, right? That half-inflated snowman. Looks like Frosty the Crack Whore. Got a lot of married couples in here? Round of applause, married couples. Nice. Single people, round of applause. Listen to that energy, that excitement. Who's been, I can't see you guys, so you're gonna just have to call it out. Who's been married here the longest? Anybody been 20 years? Anybody got 20 years? Yeah? 30? I like how this is the auction part of the show. 40? 50? Really? Are you guys just screwing with me now? Like he can't see us, just keep clapping. 50, so who's 50 years? What do you got? Scream out the number. 53? What's the, sir, what's the secret to 53 years of marriage? You don't know how to count? And you have no sense of humor. What, ma'am, how did he propose to you? You remember? No? That's awesome. You guys have a fantastic marriage. We just don't talk to each other. That's great. My parents have been married for 55 years. Yeah, they hate each other. I don't think they ever liked each other. My dad has become a narcoleptic. He can fall asleep anywhere, anytime, doing anything. He comes home from work, sits down in his chair, and it just... And the sight of my father asleep causes some chemical reaction in my mother's brain that makes her go completely insane. And she gets right up into his face and starts going, Sid, 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 you're asleep. Sid, 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 you're asleep. Sid, Sid, Sid. Come on, holy crap, relax. He's tired, he worked all day, he's taking a nap. She goes, oh no, because if he's asleep, he's happy. That's very sweet, Mom. My mom's crazy. I had a cold a few weeks ago, I called my mom goes, oh, you're not feeling very well? Well, did you take your temperature? I was like, do we do that anymore? I thought that was just a way to find out if a kid was lying. You remember that when you were a kid? You were always rooting for 100? I used to hold the thermometer down by the heating vent. My mom would be like, you must be sick, it says you have 137. It's malaria. But my mom had to be like Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman and do it the most accurate way possible. Yeah. She did it the old-fashioned way. It was like prison rape in my house when you got a cold. Thanks for one person clapping at that. Good, we got the prison rape joke out of the way, good. So I finally go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, well, we should probably take her temperature. I was like, the hell you will, it's my throat. He goes, you know, we can do it orally now. I was like, really? Mom, do you know they can do it orally now? She goes, maybe that's what they say, but it's not nearly as accurate. I was like, you know, Ma, I'm gonna take my chances. Nothing needs to be that accurate. There's shit on a space shuttle that's not that accurate. She's crazy. My dad's tough. My dad was always a tough guy. I once asked my dad what a tampon was, and he goes, Jesus. They're not for you, and don't ever use them. Which is exactly what he told me about beer and cigarettes. So some years later, when I was hanging out with some older kids and they were talking about getting beer and cigarettes, I said, yeah, and some tampons. I wasn't a very popular kid. I wasn't. I was a lawyer before becoming a comedian, which shows no ability to make life decisions. And my mom was so excited when I became a lawyer. You know, oh, my Jewish mom, oh, my son, the lawyer, she would tell everybody. And then I decided to become a comedian. And now when people ask how I'm doing, my mom goes, oh, Kevin, he's dead. I'm like, Mom, I'm right here. I always wanted to be a lawyer. I didn't always want to be a lawyer. I used to want to be a truck driver. When I was really little, when I was like 3 or 4, 5, 6, you know, I wanted to be a truck driver. And that drove my mom crazy. Because we'd have company over, and they'd be like, oh, hello, what do you want to be? And I'd be like, I want to be a truck driver. My mom would just go, you're not going to be a truck driver, Kevin. You're Jewish. Maybe someday you can own a trucking company. So when I got a little older, in around 3rd grade, we had to make this book called Marvelous Me, which is all about us, because at the age of 8, we had so much to say about ourselves. And on one of the pages was what I want to be when I grow up. And I wrote, well, I used to want to be a truck driver, but apparently I'm Jewish. So I guess I'll just be a lawyer. And that stuck with me through middle school and high school, and then I got to college and I wanted to be a lawyer. And then my first semester, sophomore year, I got a .8. I got a .8. That was not my blood alcohol level. Or maybe it was. And so when my grades came home, you can imagine my very proud Jewish mother lost her mind. And she looked me dead in the eyes and goes, "What are you, retarded?" And that wasn't like, that wasn't like something you say to one of your friends after a night of drinking and they're peeing in a cop car. She was making an on-the-spot medical diagnosis right there. And I just didn't know what to say, and I just kept saying, I don't know what, I didn't want to admit to her that I was just drinking and having sex for 2 semesters, so I just kept saying, I don't know what happened, which really made me sound like an idiot. So she decides that I need to, they pull me out of school, and I'm going to start going to a psychiatrist to figure out what's wrong with me. And he's going to come up with a way so I can go back to college. So I sit down with this guy the first time, and he goes, well, Kevin, why don't you tell me what happened in college? And I was like, well, first, I had a ton of beer. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, what happened after that? I was like, well, after that, I had a bunch of sex. He's like, okay, well, what'd you do then? I was like, well, then I played a ton of video games. And he's like, oh, Kevin, geez, wow, that sounds awesome. I was like, it was. So after a couple of these sessions, he sits me down and he's like, listen, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just a kid, you were having fun, your parents want to come in and talk to me. I'm just going to tell them, you're just a normal kid, you had some fun. I was like, the hell you are? Look at all those books, you come up with a diagnosis. I'm never going back to college with that crap. So I have to stay home when my parents go to see this guy. And I'm just sweating it out at home. My parents go and they're there for a couple hours, and they come back in and they sit down in my bedroom with me and they have this really serious look on their face. And they're like, Kevin, we talked to him and he explained it to us, and we just want to be supportive of you. We didn't realize, and we understand, we're here for you. We didn't know you've been gay for so long. And I just never told them the truth. So then I finally did. I graduated. I went back to college and I graduated. And I sat down with my academic advisor right at the end of the year to talk about what I'm going to do next. And she sits down and she opens my transcripts and looks at my grades and goes, so what do you want to do? And I was like, well, actually, I want to go to law school. And she looks me dead in the eyes and goes, what are you, retarded? Maybe you should be a truck driver. I'm a dog owner. Any dog owners here? Dog owners? Yeah? What kind of dog do you have, man? I wasn't talking to you. But you, what did you say? A sheepoo? That sounds like something she did on the street. What's a sheepoo? Wait, let me guess. It's a Shih Tzu Poodle mix. Come on, that was good. I put that together. That's a mutt. You have a mutt. You paid too much for a mutt. That's a little dog, right? That's a little one? Little yappy one? What's its name? Lucy? Ugh. I don't like you already. Do you ever carry her in a purse? You do? God, now we all hate you. You guys seen these people with the dogs in their purse? I hate that. I was once standing on line in the mall and I was like, oh my God! There was little dogs sticking out of me. I have a St. Bernard. I want to take that to the mall. Like, sorry, my dog just took a dump in ladies' lingerie, but the sheep was adorable. Does anybody else have a big dog? Anybody got a big dog they're proud of? Yeah, what somebody got? Scream out a big dog. What do you got? A lab? A standard poodle. Shut up, that's not a big dog. That's just an oversized little one of that. A lab? That's a good dog. That's a good white dog. Now everybody's, except he's black. Touche, sir, who I can't say. Somebody say a bull mastiff? That's a big, what's the bull mastiff's name? Bruno? Bluto? Whatever it is, it sounds stupid. Whatever it is, it takes massive dumps, that's all I know. I don't like, see, Lucy, I don't like it when people name dogs people names. I used to work with a guy who had a golden retriever named Steve. Yeah, except he never told anybody that Steve was a dog. So one day he came to work and he's like, dude, I woke up this morning and Steve shit all over the house. I was like, sounds like your roommate has a drinking problem. But if you've ever owned a dog, you'll know what I'm talking about. Owning a dog makes you feel like the most important person in the universe. You come home to an empty house after a long day of work and the dog is like, oh my gosh, you're home! You left untouched forever, can I come back? I walked in the house once, you weren't there. I walked in the house twice, well, it's not to lick myself, but the point is you're home. Don't ever leave me again. Some of my friends have cats. I don't like cats. You come home to a cat after a long day of work and the cat's like, where the hell have you been all day? My water bowl's been empty for like 5 hours. Go fill that thing and come over here and scratch my back. I'm taking a nap. Thanks. Cats have attitudes. The geese have attitudes. You guys got the geese around here? Yeah? Canadian geese? Canadian geese do 3 things. They fly, they eat, and they... shit or poop, whichever one you want to say, that's fine. It's true. Here's a fact. You can take this home with you. Your average 9-pound Canadian goose can produce up to 5 pounds of fecal matter a day. Yeah. Work out the percentages and imagine if you did that, sir. We'd kill you too. New Jersey at first said, you can't kill the geese because it's our national bird. I'm from New Jersey. And we were like, oh, well, that's very nice of you. They're not up there shitting on you anymore, Canada. But tell you what, we're going to keep the geese, but we're coming up to Canada to shit on all your front yards. But my state finally figured out a way to do it and handle the problem. And I saw what they did, and it's a little disturbing. They have this big white van that they drive around to all the lakes, and then they open up the back of the van and they load the geese up into the van. And then they drive away and they gas the geese. Yeah. Now, as a Jew, I have a problem with this method. It's like the Gestapo out there. Thank you, you'll tell a friend. So I saw this happening and did hopefully what any decent person would do. I ran out to one of the lakes and I grabbed one of the female geese and I took her back to my house and I hid her up in my attic. And if you didn't get that, go back to 6th grade. Hey, you guys have been awesome. My name's Kevin Israel from Comedians at Law. Thank you. Keep following us.